Yo, what up? Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm Jose Martinez Jr. I'm joined with my co-host David, aka Sports and Tunes, and we got a special guest this afternoon. We got a pro boxer from SoCal, Inglewood, Cruiserweights, Sonny McEwen. How's it going, Sonny?
Doing great, guys. How you guys doing?
Chilling.
Just chilling, man. Thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you guys for having me on.
No problem. We got a live comment here from Skywalker Boxing from the winning team. It says, salute Jose, David, and Sonny. Blessings.
Salute, champ.
Salute, Skywalker. Awesome. All right, first question we got for you, Sonny, is the question you get asked, I'm sure, all the time, and is how to get into boxing.
Honestly, I got into boxing from the streets. I'm from Inglewood, so they have a boxing program at Rogers. Well, they don't have it anymore. When I was a kid, they had a boxing program at Rogers Park. And, I was in the streets and, getting in a bunch of fights and stuff like that. So, me and my best friend, we ended up going to the park and, just signing up. And from there, I kind of found that I really had a real interest in boxing.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, boxing is something good to have in your back pocket, for sure. And then, Sonny, how did you get the nickname Bleep?
From the streets as well. So, out my, out my neighborhood, my brother is Big Bleep. So, just following what's going on in the streets, I end up being Little Bleep.
That's what's up.
Nice. And can you tell us about your amateur career? What were some your win and loss records, some major accomplishments from back in the day?
So it was crazy. We was kind of pro because I actually started, I got back into boxing in 2020, and my coach, I trained at Jack Ragged in Long Beach, and my coach, it's a lot of pros at my gym, so he had me training and then he had me sparring. I always tell people he kind of tricked me into boxing because I was I was just really going to get back in shape, and he ended up having me sparring with a bunch of pros. He was like, man, you might as well go to the amateur. So in 2021 I went to the Las Vegas Golden Gloves, and I won that tournament, and then I went to another show in SoCal, and then from there, bro, it was ridiculous. We would go to shows and people off the wall. We'll come in and my coach will try to talk to a coach and try to set up a match, and they'll take their fighter off the wall. Yeah, fighting day. I'm like, I don't understand. But so we go pro. We was kind of forced to go pro.
Hey, whatever it takes.
Yes.
Right on. Yeah, and talking about whatever it takes, I saw actually your pro debut. You did it in Tijuana, Mexico. So you went all the way to Mexico for your pro debut. What were your emotions heading into that fight? Were there any nerves?
It was more so nerves. I think I had more nerves in my amateur debut because it was so much of my family was there. A lot of in my pro debut, but that was my first time performing in front of a crowd and all that. So that was definitely that. I remember my pro debut in Mexico wasn't because the guy I was fighting. Because a lot of people go down to Mexico just to kind of build your resume and get your box and stuff like that. So that one was kind of what I understood I was there for.
Yeah, we've heard from other boxers that pretty much when you fight in Tijuana, it's unpaid. So you're basically there getting the rounds, getting the experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then your last two fights have now been back in the U.S. At a Commerce, California. Now that you fought in Mexico and the U.S., what would you say is the kind of the biggest difference between each of the countries?
Well, obviously, we're getting paid now, and then on top of that, the company different. And obviously, as well, the competition is a little stiffer. Just based on I can't even say just based on, but my experience has been in competition has just been a little stiffer as far as my opponents as of late.
Yeah. Yep. I also hear that it's more organized out here than it is out there.
Yeah, it gets kind of random sometimes. So yeah. You'll be
That's crazy.
because you know, a lot of the stuff is, you know, you're not getting paid. So like sometimes people are pulling out of bouts like right then. So it's like, you know, you'll be thinking you'll have the third bout, and, you know, until your glove up. I'm like, bro, like, so yeah, it definitely it's random out there sometimes.
Yeah, we heard some crazy weigh-in stories too, where they can't make weight, so you end up fighting a heavier guy than you thought.
Yeah. That's definitely happened to me before. I think one of my first fights. I think that's probably why it's not on my box rec. The guy I fought was like he was definitely a heavyweight. I was 190, 195. He was 220 plus for sure.
Damn.
We got coming here from James. Says smash that like. We appreciate it, brother.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. We actually another one we have. We got our homie Black Grass podcast, and let's go, champ.
Let's go.
Sweet. Yeah, I think you're gonna be on the platform a little bit later, right? Doing a face off.
Yeah. We have actually in 20 minutes we're gonna be doing a face off.
That's
there you
right.
go. Everybody tune in to Black Grass podcast in about 20 minutes. You know, get more Sonny.
Get some action.
Yeah. And you know, you're 2 days away from being back in the ring. You know, you're back on Saturday, March 18th. What can fans expect to see from you on that night?
I mean, I mean, just getting my experience up, I'm far more measured than I was before. But I mean, I'm always looking to set up my shots in terms of a knockout. So I'm like I was telling Blackgrass, I'm always looking to try to test my opponent's chin to see where they're at in terms of, you know, what sort of punishment they can take. So that's definitely what I'm looking forward to. But at the same time, I mean, good boxing, putting on a good show for the people that come and support me.
That's right.
There you go, man. And how can people watch that fight? I think was it on Boxing TV?
Yeah, it's going to be on Boxing TV. They're going to be streaming boxingtv.com, bxngtv.com. So it'll be live Saturday.
Everyone tune in. Don't miss out.
Yeah, and if you're close to Commerce, make that trip and get your tickets.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. And then you know, can you tell us about your opponent, Leonardo Miner? You know, I know he's another undefeated fighter like yourself. You know, so it's going to be one of those exciting matchups where somebody's always got to go. You know, what can you tell us about him?
I mean, you know, obviously, you know, different people affect people differently, but you know, I guess I'll be seeing what his pop is like. He's southpaw as well, so I watched a couple videos on him. So I mean, you know, it looks like it's gonna be a good fight.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, we got some more comments here actually floating in. We got a Judah Ben with the yo. This is a salute to everybody.
Got Monster in the house.
Yeah, Monster in the house. Salute, Monster. Sonny's a beast.
Yo, what's good?
Yeah, man. For the videos I've seen, that definitely got the beast. So people in for a treat. You know, let's get it, man. Let's get it. Next question I got for you. You know, basically about your weight. You know, it seems like you're still making 200 pounds comfortably, but is there a plan eventually to move up to heavyweight and have a run at heavyweight?
I mean, it's not anything I'm against. It's just right now I'm just purely focused on cruiserweight, just based on there's work to be done. So you know, I don't really want to necessarily put the cart before the horse. So I'm more once I'm in grind mode, I'm gonna put my head down and work until, you know, what we put in front of us is done, and then we can have a different conversation at a different time. If
that's right.
Yeah, no, and like I said, you know, it looks like you're making the weight comfortably, so might as well just, you know, get them titles first, you know.
Yeah.
Then we can talk.
If it's working, keep it that way.
Exactly. I was on Monday, so I was like.
There you go. Yeah, wake us that challenge. You know, speaking of the champions at cruiserweight, you know, we got the WBO Lawrence Akali, we got the IBF Apataya, WBC recently Badu Jack, and then the WBA is Arsene, and I'm going to butcher his last name. I think it's Gulamarian. Of those champions, who would you say is kind of like, you know, the toughest and probably the hardest to beat?
I haven't really seen a lot of them. I mean, I feel like just based on the power factor, Okoli has, you know, I mean, obviously he has an equalizer with the power. So, the other guy, I haven't really seen too much of him. I just seen he's kind of a recent champion, right? Yeah. So, you know, when I was kind of coming through the amateurs when Usyk was getting, you know, when he was undisputed, and then you had Okoli get the title and stuff like that, and Breedis and Doritos and all those guys, and well, that was right around the time got knocked out. So yeah, that's kind of like, you know, I was really heavily watching the cruiserweights.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's a good point because a lot of these champions are fairly new, so it is a wide open division. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget, don't sleep on Badu Jack too.
Yeah. He's up there, but yeah, he's definitely at that last.
Take up a combo. What are some things you want to work on, Sonny, before you feel ready to challenge for that world title?
I mean, obviously stepping up in rounds. I feel like as far as sparring, my win's pretty good, but you know, just every camp we kind of work on different things. So as of late, we've been traveling. So my last camp for the fight before this one, we went to New York. We were in New York and New Jersey, and in this camp, we're in Ohio and Detroit. So we just try to, you know, because they say like once you get to a certain point, you only can really get like 1% better as you kind of, you know, gradually grow. So we're just kind of looking for that 1%. Where we can just, you know, just little things that we can tighten up on, and, you know, people that just are honest with us about, you know, what we need to work on. We're not really too worried about, you know, oh, you do this good. Like, you know, we kind of understand when we do good. We kind of want to see where we need to improve that.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. And then when it comes to preparation and, you know, getting ready for your next opponent, do you watch a lot of tape, or do you kind of leave that up to your coach and just kind of focus on yourself?
Yeah, I really leave that up to my coach. He's an avid film. He watches a lot. And, you know, for the most part, I just kind of, you know, we go off of that, off of how he feels, you know, we should have best approach the fight. And, you know, I really work on making sure that I'm, you know, in tip top shape in terms of mentality and my body, and, you know, make sure, you know, I'm keeping up with my 2-a-days. So outside of just boxing, make sure I'm doing my strength training and my cardio and stuff like that. And, you know, getting my sleep and, you know, make a point.
Yeah, and I gotta give you props for your preparation, because I know you're Inglewood, and there's a lot of great boxing gyms in SoCal, but you've been known to go as far as it takes to get, you know, good quality sparring.
Yeah.
What's the furthest you've traveled recently and get some good sparring?
The furthest we charged was New Jersey. We went to New Jersey. We sparred with Khalil.
Nice. Yeah, that's definitely coast to coast. And then, Sonny, who's been the hardest puncher you've been in the ring with yet? Either in sparring or in a pro fight?
My boy Khalil Carter. He's a heavyweight.
Oh shit!
I think he was around like. He got a nice pop. So, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, when somebody catches you with their strongest shot, you know, I like how I kind of judge it. Like, you know, you get like a little head ringer, like, okay, like, you know, he got some pop, but when he cracked me, I felt it in both of my knees. I said, okay.
All right, we got to flip the question. So we got a comment here from Scar, because since he whooped on Surdo during sparring. So can you tell us some stories about you know, some people that commented on your power and be like, man, you can crack?
Yeah, I was actually still amateur when I sparred Zurdo. I sparred 2021. And yeah, I mean, my coach, I leave all the trash talking to my coach. My coach is, I mean, you know, I appreciate people for always inviting me out and stuff like that. So, you know, I don't, you know, want to disrespect any work anybody puts in, but yeah, it was fun so far.
Nice. Yeah, we got a comment here from Bruce Gas Boxing. He says, how serious is Leonardo Miner taking you when he has another fight scheduled for a month later? I did see that on his box track. I know you really can't comment on his state of mind, but I found that weird, because he does have a fight lined up already in April. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to disrupting that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Those plans are definitely gonna change after Saturday.
To automatic. So I mean, I don't, you know, I'm not hating on anybody who hustles, but at the same time, you know, there's a certain level of respect you taking fights, you know, before you even been through this fight.
yeah.
I'm 100% interested in disrupting that and making that not the case.
Absolutely. And then Black Rice just saying salute at Sports Institutions at Mo Box No Problems.
Yo,
salute Black Rice.
And we got Monster also.
Is he coming in with us here? I haven't seen that chat.
Sonny.
I just want to hear the Sonny McEwen. This is Leonardo Miner's Must See TV. 2 undisputed cruiserweights, risking it all. March 18th.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I like. You know, fighters that are less than 10 fights in, that are just, you know, trying to see if they got it. You know, because a lot of fighters, they wait till they're 15-0, 20-0, have that padded record and
yeah.
Happened
with Zerto and Bivol. You know, Zerto, he didn't really have tough opponents before he fought Bivol, so it showed.
100%.
Also shows just how advanced his skills are for that weight class.
Mm-hmm. Great. And then, Sonny, who was your favorite boxer growing up?
When I was a kid, you know, obviously Mayweather was the face of boxing. But as I kind of, you know, got older and started actually watching a lot of film, like I'm a real huge fan of James Toney, a huge fan of Hagler, Holyfield. You know, I like guys that, you know, I mean, because in terms of fighting, I'm kind of defense minded first, so I'm all for hitting and not getting hit. So, you know, those guys are all for, you know, Holyfield, James Toney, Hagler. So, you know, those are some of the guys that I'm the biggest fans of. I watch probably almost all of their fights.
Nice.
That's awesome. It's good to hear like your defense minded and still getting those knockouts.
Yeah.
Giving fan friendly fights. I love it. Then we got a comment here from Remy. It says, "Evening, Sonny. If our emojis."
How you doing?
It's good, Remy.
Chilling.
Appreciate you tuning in. All right, next question I got for you, Sonny. Flashback forward now to present day. Who do you consider to be the number one pound for pound fighter today?
Just based on the way that he's, you know, less than 20 fights in and he's challenging himself outside of, you know, he doesn't really care. He's willing to put his all on the line. I like Usyk and Beterbiev just based on that they're into, like, you know, a lot of guys are like trying to, you know, kind of juke and dodge people to sort of hold on to their records, and there's not really a reason, you know. I mean, this is a gladiator sport, so, you know, I mean, we're supposed to be willing to put everything on the line. I understand management and, you know, trying to take care of your brand and stuff like that, but the fact that they have a team that not only supports them but believes that, you know, we're willing to put the O on the line against you on a consistent basis. I love that about Beterbiev and Usyk.
Yeah, both great fighters, and I'm definitely impressed with Usyk with the Fury negotiations. Like, he even accepted a 30% split just to get that undisputed fight happening.
And that's what me and my coach talk about all the time. Like, you know, obviously, you know, we want to feed our families. You know, we're not making these large sacrifices for no reason. But at the same time, we feel like if you put in the proper work, then, you know, that's a given. Just based on, you know, boxing is, like I said, a gladiator sport. People want to see gladiators, so that when they see a true gladiator, people will go out of their way, make like, oh, he's fighting, I'm coming to see him fight, just because we know, you know, if the opponent that he's facing isn't going to be some sort of cupcake or walkthrough or somebody where, you know, like, okay, it looks good on paper, but a real boxing fan understands and read his box record, like, dude, you're fighting cupcake. Like, he's 21-0, but he's fought 10 bums and 3 somewhat okay guys. But, you know, when you watch this guy, like, you know, he's actually putting everything on the line against somebody that he can potentially lose to.
Yeah, absolutely. And Skywalker here with the greedy belly, LOL. Good nickname. Yeah, because unfortunately, a lot of the big fights don't happen, and you end up having fans, you know, like us talking about like who's ducking who. You know, but when you have a fighter that clearly wants to prove that he's the best, you know, you love seeing that.
I mean, exactly. I mean, you can't help but be a fan of somebody like that. That's like, you know, they're willing to put it all on the line, because it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, if you lose, I mean, it's not the end of the world. You know, it's your life. I mean, like when I was on Sky's podcast, every great fighter has losses. You know, they have some sort of blemish on their record, but that doesn't take anything away from, you know, who they are as fighters.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Canelo took that L against Mayweather, and, you know, still had a great run.
And Bivol.
Yeah,
and Bivol too. But
I'm like the last 9 years, Canelo's been like the face of boxing. So, like, you know, it doesn't take anything. I mean, I feel like now he's not. He's. I mean, but he's getting older, so, you know, it's about to start winding down. But, you know,
we're looking for a new face of boxing, Sonny. You know.
There we go. Bring it home to the Fabulous Forum.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And then Sonny, what do you like to do outside of boxing? What are some of your hobbies and interests?
Man, I'm kind of a nerd, bro. So, like, you know, like, I have a real I don't know if you guys can see it. Like, you know, I have a real, you know, good book collection. So, like, I'm kind of a nerd. So, you know, reading, chilling, you know, I mean, and running my businesses. So, you know, I'm for the most part, man, I'm pretty chill. I mean,
Hey,
I have.
Sonny took the message serious from "Don't Be a Menace." Huh? The power is in the books, huh? Not in the
Bro,
pen.
it definitely is, bro. You'd be surprised how much you find in books.
And then you still made it part of it like a home decor. You know, my wife would love that setup because it's you have books, but they look clean. You know, like part of the
Yeah,
house.
All
yeah.
organized.
I've seen it.
It's all organized, all organized. And then I got to ask you, you know, about your real estate license. You know, I see on your IG, you're a real estate professional. I got a friend who just recently passed the exam into real estate. You know, can you tell us about that venture? You know, what got you interested in real estate?
So I've been doing investment real estate, which is off market real estate. I have passed my test to get my real estate license, but being that, you know, I do have a pass, I have a felony. They're kind of sending me through the ringer in terms of having to go through all sort of whatever to get my license. So I started off in investment real estate, and I was in an academy with a guy by the name of Jay Morrison. He introduced me to investment real estate, which is wholesaling, which is essentially, you know, you going out. It's really like grunt work. You're really going out looking for you know, properties that are in some sort of distress, and you're helping investors basically find you know, new projects to work on.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
awesome.
Staying busy, man. That's what's up. Hey, we gotta give the people the people's choice. It looks like they're asking for it. We gotta give them the few fights that are coming up. Let's get
Let's do
Sonny's
it.
opinion.
Yeah, so I know Skywalker's talking about the Benavides fight next weekend versus Caleb Plant. What are your thoughts on that matchup? Who do you think's gonna win?
I think Benavides just has the power, and just because he's an active fighter. Plant showed that he had a problem with power with Canelo, so.
Mm-hmm.
So you mix that with the fact that Benavides has power and he's an active fighter. He, like, you know, he throws a lot of punches. So, I mean, obviously, you know, Caleb Plant was working on stuff, you know, since he fought Canelo, but at the same time, Benavides is the beast, bro. So, I kind of get Benavides. I mean, you know, obviously he has a boxer's chance, to win the fight, but I just see Benavides edging that out.
Yeah,
Mexican monster.
gonna be a hell of a fight too.
And then Skywalker Boxing says, shout out to Sonny. He's not just relying on the sport, but already making big moves as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's great, man. You want to shout out some of your other, you know, endeavors in business? I think I heard you got some dispensaries.
No, so I do.
Awesome.
I do taxes, and I have a car rental service, so I rent out cars.
Nice. Now that we have all
all
our friends, we'll send them out that way when they come out to LA.
Take care of me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and Monster saying that, you know, more accolades, man. Just extremely driven.
Yeah, man. Me and Monster was in there, you know, so.
He knows. He knows. And I want to ask you one more fight. You know, this is the Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight that, you know, sold out within minutes. How do you see that fight playing out?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, Tank is a really smart fighter, bro, and I actually take a lot of notes from him just based on how he gradually, you know, progresses over a fight. So, like, you know, through the first 2-3 rounds, he's kind of, you know, figuring you out in terms of, like, you know, your speed, your feints, what you do, where you mess up at. So, and over time, he's kind of gradually, like, third, fourth round, he's throwing jabs here and there, and then, you know, he starts amping up on his power, like, you know, just kind of see like how you take his punches. Where do you 6th, 7th round, he's letting go, and like, and you know, so in that, like, just to have that sort of momentum in terms of mentally, he knows that he's just building up. So I don't think he has a stamina problem, but I think a lot of fighters. I mean, just me being a fighter, I feel like fighting on your back foot kind of drains you a little faster. So I think Ryan Garcia is going to have a problem with that. Obviously, Ryan Garcia has power as well, but you know, he was kind of exposed when he got put down. I can't remember who he got put down by, but you know, I honestly believe Tank has more power than the guy that put Garcia down the first time. So and Tank's really accurate with his punches, and he puts them together in bunches. So I see that edging out to Tank. But you know, obviously over the last couple of years, Ryan Garcia's went up in weight and been bodybuilding and stuff like that. So you know, I mean, he has power as well. So I mean, I haven't really seen Tank's chin get tested like that. So you really can't say. But you know, we've kind of seen Garcia get touched and his chin kind of like, you know, it's question. It may be questionable, and you can't really have that with Tank because he's gonna put some hurt on you. So you know, that's in a fact. How you respond to it is a different thing, but we 100% know that Tank is gonna touch you and see, you know, what you're about.
Absolutely. We got a K-Rod coming in, showing some love from Puerto Rico, Mexico. So what up, K-Rod? And then Skywalker clarified that it's Monster Yo who has the strain after him. So he's the one with the dispensary. And then Remy saying Canelo Hearn instead of no Bibble. Then Sonny is September. He's like, I mean Benavides for real though.
For real.
How well would that be? You get the call from Eddie Hearn saying, Sonny, you ready for September? Canelo.
Hey, I was thinking about going up to Cruiserweight too. You said he'll come back down, so you know.
Exactly. And then Sonny, what would be the best piece of advice you would give someone that's thinking about going pro in boxing and making a career out of it?
So like our philosophy is, me and my team, is that's why I'm so, I wouldn't say heavily focused, but that's why the main focus right now is my business, just based on I don't want to be in a position to where, you know, you hear so many people that get in positions where they're not financially stable, to where they have to, or they don't necessarily have to, but you know, I mean, obviously, you know, you're not in the right position to make decisions. You know, if somebody offered you something, you're kind of in positions where you almost have to take it, because, you know, you're not really in the financial position to actually, you know, make better decisions. So we're just fortunate, you know, that we have the choice to make different decisions just based on, you know, my coach is doing well at coaching, and I'm making my way as an entrepreneur. So I would just say focus on your finances first. And then, I mean, obviously you still want to grind and work as a fighter, but at the same time, you don't want to be in a position to where it's like, you know, if someone offers you $100,000 contract, you're selling your soul. Like, you made that $100,000, but obviously, you know, that's an advance you have to pay back, and then the contract is like for 10 fights at some crumbs that, you know. So that would be my thing on the financial side. And as far as a fighter, I would definitely tell people, don't just be a boxer. Make sure you're getting your strength training as well, because, you know, you don't just want to be a person that's all you do is box. So that would be kind of like my 2 tidbits.
Yeah.
Great advice. And final question we got for you, Sonny. It's not really a question. It's more so kind of opening up the floor. What's the message you want to send to your fans and supporters?
I love you guys. I adore you. I thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Like, a lot of people that support me have seen the transition full circle from me being the knucklehead lost in the sauce, man, to, you know, me, you know, I'm having the opportunity to chase a greater life for myself and my family. So I thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, man. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, guys.
And then I lied. We got actually one more question this time from K-Rod. It says, Sonny, do you believe the cruiserweight division isn't as popular as heavyweight simply due to the lack of popular skill set? And if it were just as glamorous, would we see bigger fights theoretically?
I mean, I can't necessarily say that, because you have Holyfield and James Toney came through cruiserweight. So those are like the most eloquent fighters that you'll ever receive, just based on, you know, James Toney didn't do any cardio. All he did was spar. So Holyfield obviously was a monster. Like, Holyfield, I think Holyfield fought one guy with a losing record from his first fight. So a lot of guys will come in and, you know, you want to get your feel for fighting 0-1 or 2-3. Like, Holyfield's first opponent was like 9 and something ridiculous. Like, his first fight out the Olympics. So, like, you know, obviously Lomachenko did the same thing, but it's like, it didn't use it. So it's like, I mean, you say you can't really, because those guys are really ridiculous fighters that have some powerful fundamentals to me.
Yeah, weren't Andre Ward and what's his name also cruiserweight? Kovalev.
I think Andre Ward maybe in the amateurs. I think he fought at that high. I'm not sure, but as a pro, Kovalev just recently went up to cruiserweight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely those exceptions that are just super talented. All right, but anyways, Sonny, I know you got to go. You're a busy guy today. We'll be seeing you on the Black Grass podcast in a little bit for that face off. But thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to interview you and get to know you better.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. And everybody, plug in that IG, man. You guys want to follow his career?
Absolutely. So you can see here in the banner scrolling. You can follow Sonny McEwen on IG at uncommon with the K _. So
That's
everybody go
right.
follow, and you won't miss any news.
Have a great day, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
honey.
Have
Have a good one.
Later.
All right. Thanks everyone for live chat too. Catch y'all later.